Genesis 11 through 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The Tower of Babel, God's promise to Abram and Lot parted ways, Abram saved Lot, met Melchizedek, Abram's dark dream. The first 11 chapters of Genesis are known as the primordial history. Chapters 1 through 5 are about Adam and Eve and their descendants. Chapters 6 through 10 are about Noah and his descendants. Chapter 11 is mostly about the Tower of Babel, but it also has some genealogy from Noah's son Shem all the way down to a man named Abram, who became the central character starting in Genesis 12. Notice the structure of the land masses in Genesis. They look a little bit like cupcakes, so we can call them cupcakes. Okay, cupcake? Most cupcakes have exactly 5 chapters on them. Genesis 1 through 5 gets its own cupcake. Genesis 6 through 10 gets its own cupcake, and so on. But occasionally, the structure of the book makes that pattern a little inconvenient. Chapter 11, for example, is an exception, because it is part of the primordial history, chapters 1 through 11. So it's kind of floating out there on its own in this prominent location of Genesis. It's sort of a bridge between the primordial history and the saga of Abram. The Bible Recall Memory Palace uses many subtle, scientifically supported memory techniques to quickly submerge large amounts of information into your long-term memory. This stuff really works. At the Tower of Babel, God confused the language of the people and they scattered throughout the world. In Genesis 12, God called Abram and promised that the whole world would be blessed through Abram. This is the inciting incident of the Bible story. Everything in the Bible depends on God fulfilling this promise. It's a big deal. Then Abram makes a sacrifice. His wife, Sarah, she looks like a cat. Abram was afraid of Pharaoh, so he gave Sarah to Pharaoh to be Pharaoh's wife. Eventually it got really awkward and they left Egypt. In Genesis 13, Abram and his nephew Lot parted ways. Bye, buddy. Genesis 13. In Genesis 14, Abram's nephew Lot and 5 kings were captured. Abram took only 318 men and rescued them. Then Abram met a mysterious king priest named Melchizedek, and they broke bread and drank wine together. In Genesis 15, Abram made a covenant with God. Abram went into a deep, dark sleep, and God warned him that his descendants would become slaves in Egypt for 400 years. Then God would free them and they would conquer the promised land. Let's reinforce what you have learned from the Bible Recall Memory Palace. Always guess an answer to these questions, even if you know you're wrong. It supports a stronger memory. And never be discouraged. You are doing great. In which chapter did Abram rescue his nephew Lot and dine with the king priest Melchizedek? Chapter 14. Lot was rescued and we meet Melchizedek. In which chapter was the big promise to Abram to bless the whole world through Abram? Chapter 12. Yep, this is the inciting incident of the Bible. Be sure to rewatch this tomorrow, 1 week from now, 1 month from now, and 3 to 6 months from now, and you will remember it for the rest of your life. This stuff works. In which chapter did Abram and Lot part ways? Chapter 13. Good job. Abram and Lot parted ways. In which chapter is the Tower of Babel? Chapter 11. In which chapter did Abram have a dark dream and God warned of slavery for 400 years in Egypt? Chapter 15. Excellent. If you and your friends commit to knowing God and following Him together, and if you commit to learning what is in every chapter of the Bible together, then together we can change the world. Amen?